Every NHL season has teams that grab the headlines. The original six, always there. The Washington Capitals and the great race for Alexander Ovechkin, everybody's all over that right now. The Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens, always a popular team. The Florida Panthers, the defending champions. The trade deadline and acquisitions done by the Dallas Stars, acquiring Mikko Rantanen, and the crazy depth that team has. The Colorado Avalanche and the two best players in the world with Nathan MacKinnon and Cale Makar, rivaled by only the Edmonton Oilers with the other two best players in the world in Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. But there's another team in the NHL that isn't being talked about. There's another team from a small market, from a cold, desolate city that you probably aren't watching. No, they don't have the media circus of Toronto, Montreal, New York, or Boston, but what they do have is an absolutely powerhouse team that has been tearing up the NHL for 60 plus games and is poised to make one of the deepest Stanley Cup runs in franchise history. This team boasts the best goaltender in the NHL today. This team boasts the best 200-foot game in the NHL today. This team has the best line one in the NHL today. No, they may not have a Nathan MacKinnon, but they do have one of the best statistical outputs of any line in the league. Vilardi, Scheifele, and Connor have been absolutely tearing apart teams, followed up by two incredibly deep lines with the Lowry line at line 3 and the Perfetti line in line 2. Don't sleep on the fourth line. This team has one of the best fourth lines in the league, but they do it as a unit. They play 200, 300, and 400 feet, offensive zone, defensive zone, back to the offensive zone to drive and dominate opponents. The team also boasts the best power play in the NHL. It's been the most efficient since the start of the year. It remains the most efficient going in. They're healthy, they play incredibly well, they have a lot of veterans. Let's take a look at why the Winnipeg Jets are the NHL's best team this year. It all starts with a 200-foot game, and Josh Morrissey pinches out perfect angles and leaves it for an amazing 2-on-1 that is Gabe Vilardi and Mark Scheifele. This 2-on-1 that you see created here is done through both puck support and great checking. It allows the north-south tendencies of Gabe Vilardi to explode, but Kyle Connor, the east-west player that he is, the perfect balance on this line, picks up that puck wide. Gabe Vilardi then continues down the ice, driving both Dallas Stars to the net, and who's coming in late? It's forward number 4. It's your favorite defenseman on the Winnipeg Jets, Josh Morrissey. He feeds it right back to Kyle Connor, who ends up burying it. He never misses goals like that. 200 feet into the back of your net. Perfect defense, better offense, waiting to take the perfect shot. The Winnipeg Jets end up taking it home on the Dallas Stars. In their own zone, the Winnipeg Jets are absolutely punishing to play against. They get out to their checks quick, and it's number 2, Dylan DeMello. Perfect stick on puck, perfect puck support here from Gabe Vilardi, creating 2-on-1s all over the ice defensively. The defenseman in his 30s breaks out, finds Kyle Connor on his left wing, and Kyle Connor is going to stop here and buy ice. Connor has 3 options that he can choose. Connor can go ahead and do a drop pass to Mark Scheifele. Mark Scheifele can bump into the far corner, and we see the defenseman gap being pushed backwards. He chooses to give it to Scheifele on the half wall, who buys ice with a good little regroup, and it's Dylan Samberg activating this time as forward 4 to go ahead and bury that goal. We see in this moment here that the Jets offense has trapped all 5 Dallas Stars players on the wrong side of the ice, opened up an east-west pass by lengthening and widening that offensive zone. But it's not just line 1 that gets into it. The Cole Perfetti line has been absolutely electric for the Winnipeg Jets. Perfetti, Ehlers, Nemestikov, you see it here, and who else is it but Dylan DeMello with great stick on puck. Perfect gap, 5 Winnipeg Jets in the frame right here against 2 New York Rangers, causing an amazing turnover with a 2-1-2 back check. We see that puck taken away. Amazing puck support and 2-on-1 created again by Cole Perfetti and Nemestikov, who are on the right side of the puck defensively. They are doing everything you want them to do, thinking defense before they think offense. Perfetti makes a quick little board chip to Nemestikov, who ends up creating that time and space with a drop pass to Nick Ehlers. As soon as they hit the blue line, they're going to choose to do the crisscross applesauce drop pass in order to push back those defenders more. And here we see Cole Perfetti at a perfect shooter spot to take it and put it in the back of the net. But he's not going to do that. The Winnipeg Jets take the best shot, just like I talked about with Marty St. Louis and the Montreal Canadiens. The Winnipeg Jets take their time and they're patient. It's not about outshooting your opponents. It's about getting the best quality chances. We have this little line called the Royal Road that we see here This Royal Road separates the left side and right side of the ice, and if you cross that line with a pass or a deke, a stick handle, anyway, especially multiple times, it is a dynamic angle change for goalies to have to make, and it's a great opportunity to beat them. You'll see he ends up moving it across that Royal Road to Nemestikov. It may not be Nemestikov that puts it in, but he's Johnny on the spot at the right point. The New York Rangers put it in their own net because Cole Perfetti took the best chance, not just a chance. The Winnipeg Jets third line also gets it done here. A combination of line 3 with line 4. Captain Adam Lowry gets beat on the defensive side of the puck, but a great little stick-on-stick action here that avoids a penalty. And you'll see Morgan Barron and Ix Iafallo of the fourth line breaking out. Quick stretch pass there to Morgan Barron. Iafallo drives the net. He ends up putting it across the Royal Road, but Iafallo is unable to put it in. What we see next is an example of the most fourth line goal of fourth line goals. Morgan Barron doesn't fly by. He makes sure this puck goes in the back of the net. He stops, comes back, finds it on the goal line, and buries it and puts it in. That's a beautiful, greasy, yet beautiful goal by the third, fourth line of the Winnipeg Jets. As we can see, they get it done all throughout the roster. They also get it done in the offensive zone here, though. They don't just need to score on the rush. Gabe Vilardi holds that puck, and as soon as Kyle Connor sees that his partner needs help, he's on the right side of the puck between his goalie and the puck. You can play defense even in the offensive zone, and he's able to create stick on puck to move that puck down low. Mark Scheifele notices that he needs to get in there and help to create that 3-on-3. He does. Kyle Connor separates immediately. These two find each other. It's left brain, right brain, and bang, it's in the back of the net. Line 2, Cole Perfetti, again, the puck hound that he is. Quick little stick lift. He has perfected this all year. Nice little takeaway, but this starts almost 50 feet away from the play from the other side of the rink. Cole Perfetti hounding the puck. Great stick on puck. Nick Ehlers cuts in with a really nice stick check. It allows Cole Perfetti to pick up that puck in the center of the ice and put it in the back of the net. But take a look at how it works here. He is hounding him around the back of the net. Perfect defensive positioning, perfect back pressure, gets that stick right on stick, be able to create that turnover, feeds it right into Nick Ehlers, doesn't end up leaving the zone, goes ahead, picks up that puck, puts it in the back of the net. These are the types of turnovers that the Jets have caused in the offensive zone, not on the rush, that have made them incredibly hard to deal with. They are very good at cutting off angles. They are very good at creating 2-on-1s. They're even better at stick checks. And one of their best attributes is they get away with it. They have that veteran presence to get the stick in there without taking the penalty. A big change from the Paul Maurice days. And then finally, I told you, don't sleep on line 3, line 4. Here's line 4 doing it again with the newly acquired Brandon Tanev. Absolute waves of attack here from line 4. They get that shot on net. They lose the puck, quick little turnover, but they are the first line to puck retrieve, make sure they're on the right side of the puck and attack in waves. Not only do they get one chance, but they get 2 chances, 3 chances. And when that puck finally ends up leaving the zone here because of a little kick, whoop, it goes 200 feet the other way. It's a quick little save, a flip out of the zone, and take a look at that. They're out of their zone in half a second. Incredible job by line 4. The Winnipeg Jets are deep throughout their roster. They're very hard to play against. The Winnipeg Jets power play, the best in the NHL right now. Incredible at lengthening and widening the zone. Take a look at the passing here over to Josh Morrissey. Josh Morrissey down to Kyle Connor. Head is up and creating space. They don't just take a shot. They make sure they line up perfectly. The Winnipeg Jets have a little bit of a 1-3-1 right now, sends it back over to Josh Morrissey, back to Kyle Connor, down low to Nick Ehlers. If you are counting right now, that is 6 dynamic passes. Perfect tape to tape, not a moment of effort wasted. As soon as you bobble a puck, even for half a second on a power play, penalty killers are so good in today's NHL, they are going to be on you like white on rice, and they are going to be causing turnovers. But the Winnipeg Jets are able to move the puck around the perimeter, creating those angle changes with near perfect precision passing. They may not have the names on the power play that you're familiar with, but as a unit, this is an incredibly dominant unit. It ends up with Nick Ehlers down low, and he's going to step in and take a quick little sneaky shot. This is one of his favorite places to shoot, but when he misses, take a look at how quickly he is on the puck for puck retrieval. It's back to Kyle Connor, looking like a defenseman walking that blue line, finding Nick Ehlers down low again, who takes a quick little snapshot, low, not necessarily looking to score, but looking to create a dynamic rebound off that goalie's pads. We call it a pop pass, P-O-P, pass off pad, and it's Josh Morrissey, the fourth forward we talk about, sneaking in to finish that and put it in the back of the net. Overwhelming attack. The Winnipeg Jets can do this as well quickly. We see Josh Morrissey going ahead and finding Kyle Connor on that right side, who finds it to Nick Ehlers, who decides this time, no pop pass, I'm just going to bury it. And that is why that is the best power play in the NHL today. They can score quickly, they can score patiently, but the power play of the Winnipeg Jets will carry them through the Stanley Cup playoffs. Hey, look, they may lose in the first round. They've done it before. They've let down their fans before. But this team is something different this year, and I hope you're seeing the receipts that we're putting in right now, because you're about to see the biggest reason and the biggest receipt, and that is Connor Charles Hellebuyck. The Vezina caliber goaltender has angles and scramble ability for days. Perfect little angle there, kicking the rebound out deep. It almost exits the zone. A little bit of a fall and the Jets cause a turnover, but there's Connor Hellebuyck to make the save again. That scramble ability he is so good at. Gets back on his post, finds his angles, repositions to make the third save, repositions to make the fourth save, but the puck ends up getting cleared high and out. People talk about goaltenders that smother pucks, that have great angles, and people talk about athletic goaltenders. Well, I'm here to tell you, every goaltender in the NHL is athletic. Every goaltender in the NHL makes athletic saves, and every goaltender in the NHL does his best to cut down on angles. Connor Hellebuyck just does it better than every goaltender in the NHL. His angles are better than anybody. His ability to bring the puck into his body and control rebounds is better than anybody. His ability to use his pads to kick pucks all the way out of the zone on rebounds is better than anybody in the NHL. And his athletic scramble ability when he has to make that second and third save, it is better than anybody in the NHL. The conversation we are not hearing enough of. That year, Carey Price won the Hart Trophy for the NHL. Connor Hellebuyck is having a season that is as good, if not better, than what Carey Price had there before. We hear a lot about Nathan MacKinnon. We hear a little bit about Connor McDavid and Cale Makar, but I don't think Connor Hellebuyck has been included in that conversation nearly enough. This is the NHL's best player right now, and he is a goalie. We see another New York team here right across the Royal Road, another great example of Connor Hellebuyck's angles. He brings that puck into his body. He controls the rebound well enough. The second shot coming in, controls it, puts it away. That's 3 shots on net, sucked close into his body, nothing popping out to be incredibly dangerous. Connor Hellebuyck is an absolutely dynamic goalie. So there you have it. A roster of near misfits. Outside of Kyle Connor, there is a reason for everybody to doubt any player on this roster. Mark Scheifele is leading all Canadians in goals. He was left off the Four Nations roster. John Cooper didn't see fit to put him on that roster. He replaced him with guys like Cirelli, Hagel, and other dynamic players. Kyle Connor did make the Four Nations roster, but was benched in the final game for Chris Kreider. There are coaches, players, and media pundits all over the NHL sleeping on the talented players like this, and I can go on all up and down the roster. Captain Adam Lowry, that is a guy that is the heart and soul of a team. He reminds me of a Dustin Brown who ended up winning a Stanley Cup with the Los Angeles Kings. Adam Lowry, Scott Arniel, the leadership group of this team has this team humming and doing every single thing the right way. However, because they're in a small market, you probably aren't watching them. You're probably watching their rivals like the Dallas Stars, the Colorado Avalanche, or the big Eastern markets. Well, we have a great video on why Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon are the best duo and 2 best players in the NHL right now on your screen today. But please take half a second, take a look at this team and realize this is something different than years past. We all are sleeping on the NHL's best team in the Winnipeg Jets.